All right. Hello, tile friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Tile Money Podcast. If you are joining us live, thanks for being here. It looks like we've already got a few people here. Thanks for being here. Feel free at any point during this discussion. We've got another great interview to ask a question, give a comment, be part of the discussion. That's what makes this fun. That's what makes this live. We've got a great guest today, Ant Primo. You probably know him from Instagram at Primo Bathrooms. I'm going to show you some of his work right now before we pull him on. And he's been doing some big stuff, some amazing stuff, beautiful work coming out of Essex over in the UK, across the pond, as they say. And I'm excited to talk to him. He's heavily branded. We're going to talk to him about his partner. He's got a couple businesses he's in. There's a lot to dive into here. Branding, businesses. We're going to talk to him about his website, and he actually offers financing, which I've been looking for somebody to talk to about financing. This is kind of a really interesting subject that is kind of controversial in the Tile Money Facebook group. So before we bring Ant up, I just want to take a minute to thank the sponsors of the Tile Money Podcast, the National Tile Contractors Association. They're the oldest tile contractor association here in the U.S. So if you're in the U.S. or Canada, not Canada, but if you're in the U.S. Or certainly Canada, some of you have told me you found some value in joining, but they're the National Tile Contractors Association. Check them out online. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us, brother. Appreciate you being here. I always enjoy your participation in these. And I also want to thank Laticrete International. I want to thank Laticrete for being a sponsor of the show. All right. So without further ado here, I did want to show you real quick before we bring him on some of the work. If you're not familiar with Primo, you can find him on Instagram at Primo_Bathrooms. And what you'll notice here is they've got a showroom in Essex, fully fitted, 6,000 square feet. You might recognize some of these photos. Check this one out right here. Look at this LED hallway with vertical porcelain, and then just it looks like every 3 feet there's a strip of LED that wraps down on the floor and up around the ceiling. I think this is just a brilliant idea. Great marketing. We're going to talk to him about this job and others, of course. And if you notice his Instagram, if you're looking to build up your Instagram account, check out Primo's. I mean, he's up to like almost 8,600, 8,700 followers, and he's doing a beautiful job here. He's got his work showcased, but then every few photos, he's got people in there, the crew, the owner, just some close-up photos, really some different angles. You can tell, he's puts a lot of thought into his photos, his videos, and gold, just staying with the trends. I mean, this is just beautiful. If you're listening to this as a podcast, you might want to check out the YouTube channel Tile Money, or of course go over to Instagram and check him out over in Primo. So I'm excited to have him. Let's bring him up. Ant, how are you, brother?
How are we?
Doing good, thank you.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've got about 10 people watching with us, so I'm super stoked. Mario, good to see you, brother. Yeah, it looks super cool. So we've got a lot of people, a lot of buzz. Some folks were telling me I needed to interview you, and I've been watching you on Instagram and checking your stuff out. So I'm excited to have you in the house like this and be interviewing. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about your business? How long you've been in business, kind of what you specialize in, and then we'll get into the interview.
Firstly, thank you very much for having me on, and to all the guys that have put my name forward to yourself, Luke. So thank you very much for the continued support. The business, well, it all starts with pure hard work. It doesn't just fall in your lap. You got to go out there and get it. This is our second business. Primo is the newest addition to the brand. Firstly, our first business is more aimed towards the new home sector. So we got contracts with the national house builders, and we carry out all the tile installation for them. So we're talking of units. They can be from a plot of 40 homes, new homes, up to 500. I think the biggest contract that we got running at the moment, we have 5 years work in in front of us. But we didn't start off like that. The way that it all started was small builders, small developers, and it was myself and a business partner. It's a typical story. If anyone's in the game and in the business, you know that you're there until the job's done, till silly o'clock sometimes at night. These are the things you have to do, and we've done that, and we continue to work that same way. And the rest is, the rest is history, as they say. But you have to have that mentality to go anywhere in life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Primo is more aimed towards private customers, where we give them something completely different. It's not for everyone, but it is aimed towards the higher end of the market, middle to high end of the market. But you're getting pure quality from start to finish, within the products, the installation, and the general knowledge of knowing how to install the products correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, there's so many different products out there, brands of products, but it's finding the best and working with the best. Hence the name Primo means first in Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we stand for, and that's how we try and do every single job the same way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you've got this great business, kind of more of a production business, on focusing on a lot of homes per year, right? You're installing tile in a lot of homes every year.
Yes. As I said, the sites start now. I think like you said, it's a production line. So unless the house type changes, it's pretty much the same format throughout the site. Then the customers do have the option for upgrades, where it takes the tiling package to a fully tiled room opposed to a half tiled room, or a splash zone, or we call them wet areas, wet rooms. It all depends, but yes, it can escalate to more.
Mm. And so that's profitable for you, that business, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bread and butter business. It is what it is.
So tell me about the mindset that goes into saying, we already have this great business, we have this great partnership, we're expanding, we're really doing well, but then you add to it, and you add kind of a whole nother animal, like a second brand, really targeted at a completely different audience, correct? I mean, why did you do that? And kind of tell me about the mindset that it took to do that. I mean, you already said you're working till silly o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah. I mean, the meeting of my business partner, had the way that we met. I was working for myself on my own. I started out on my own, and my business partner today had started out for a company. So he mastered the way of working for the contracting side. And it was between a mutual friend that our names got exchanged. And I think at the time I had a bit of a dry spell with work. And he asked me if I'd like to go and help him in London. We had a site there. I think there was 150 units. And he said, "Look, I'm doing it on my own with a labourer. Can you give me a hand?" And that's where it all started, really. We was completing 2 units each a day. Now the tile spec was a half height tile on a wet wall and full height inside the bath and a floor area. So it wasn't big areas. So that's why we was able to get 2 complete within a day each. But the relationship kept building. We could see the similarities in each other, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then we became business partners equally. We developed that business, and my background was all with private customers. That's how I started. So where I took a bit of a break from that and jumped into the commercial side to get that together, we got that to where it is. that was then running, and it was like, right, let's go and pick up the other side where we left it, and drive it to where it needs to go. And now it works so well. We're both like-minded. We've got each other's back on decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, you butt heads. You're always going to disagree, but you find a way of keeping on the same road. But to me, he's like a brother.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to have that relationship for it to work long term, you need to be that way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've heard stories in the past. It can be very, very difficult when you have a business partner that isn't on the same page as you. One drifts that way, the other drifts that way, and then everything that you've worked together for is for nothing. So, but
you said that you're similarly minded, and you kind of got to know each other. You worked on that relationship probably for a period of time. But I'm curious. Do both of you possess strengths? In other words, somebody's strong in one area and likes to focus on one area of the business, and the other person, likes to focus on the other area. Is that how it works now, or how?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. My business partner runs Paul Ceramic, which is our first business with the contracting side. That business without him doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's his bag. That's his passion. That's how he knows how to run it. And there's no one better than him to do that job. He solely focuses on that. I'm in the background supporting him, but he's driving that bus.
Mm-hmm.
Now Primo is more my bag, so I'm driving that bus, and there's the support behind me, and we support each other as best as we can.
Sure.
And that's why it works so well, because we're not on each other's toes, we're not getting in each other's way.
Mm-hmm.
We've both got a task, and we aim for it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So having a balance is key. You need a balance.
Yeah.
If you have multiple businesses.
Yeah. What's one piece of advice you could give somebody that's thinking about a partner? Maybe is there something that you could pinpoint, like a checklist or a book or a procedure, or is it case by case? What do you think really makes a good partner?
So you need to be like-minded. You have to have the same end goal, the same vision. You need to have strengths. You need to have similar strengths, but where you lack, they need to gain. They need to be there in order for you to gain as well. It's a big combination of everything, But at the end of the day, it comes down to trust. If you can trust that person with the most important things in life, you should be fine.
Yeah.
And once you nail that part, everything else is all right.
Okay. We've got some questions coming in from the Facebook audience. Do you recommend a book? Are you a big reader? Also, a follow-up question: what's a good profit margin for your subcontractor work? I think for the bulk work, the second business.
Yeah, with the subcontracting works, our guys are all able to earn what they like. In a sense, there's a set rate. So on site, there's a different. You approach the site work in a different way. It's more down to speed. The quality's there, but the speed, you have to be fast in order to earn money. So if you work on a price, everyone knows how that works. But they earn well. We treat our guys well. We're probably one of the highest paying in the UK for subcontractors. We've done our research, and we probably pay the most money.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So treat your guys right if they're quality.
Your business is nothing without the people that help it develop. So you have to look after those guys.
Yeah. How about the book? Do you recommend a book, a business book, or?
I think for anyone that's looking to start a business, obviously do your research, find out what's involved, and the basics. But a lot of it comes down to experience, and don't be frightened of making mistakes. or losing a few quid. I say quid, pounds, money. Don't be frightened of that, because that's going to happen at the beginning. But it's all for you to learn for later on down the line, and that's how you've got to think like that. There is no quick way of making money. There is none.
Yeah.
You need the experience.
Mm.
Experience is what you need.
Yeah.
But to get that experience, you have to go out there. Don't be scared. Listen, if you make a mistake, find a way of putting it right. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good advice. I mean, there's no, unfortunately, there's no easy pill or easy button in life that's going to, change your life or change your business. It just doesn't exist, unfortunately. I mean, I know we're told that it does. They want to sell you a pill that will change your life, right?
Well, if there was, well, we would not be here.
And it wouldn't be fun. We'd all be on the same level.
That's right.
So we've got a question from Mario Gonzalez over in Oregon. He's wanting to talk about these lights. I'm going to put it back on the screen here for anybody who hasn't seen this. But this is a hallway. Is this in your showroom or?
Yeah, this is an area within the showroom. It was very bland. There's a video on YouTube that shows an example of what it looked like before. It was just a walkway, very plain. But anyone that follows me or knows me knows the ambition I have for this place, and to turn it into the best showroom. Well, for sure, the best showroom in the area. And that's, you have to find creative ways to draw people in and show them. At the end of the day, this is a service that we offer. So it's an installation service as well as supply. So it's just to showcase what we do and how we do it. But it creates a cool feature, and it gets people talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say so. So have you sold one of these yet?
Well, our next movement is to get into well-known businesses or venues, maybe bars, maybe nightclubs, places that style would suit. And they're on the same page in terms of being quirky, because they know that it will draw a customer in. So I'm showcasing what I can do, and I'm doing it here, testing it here within the showroom itself, and seeing what doors it opens. But it's, the work goes in here. It's done here. It's all worked out here, and then it's put out to everyone else. This is what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, Mario brings a good point. I mean, it's almost like custom commercial work, which is a whole nother market in itself. I mean, commercial work, we usually think of production, pretty much bland or, very neutral colors, but really there's a whole nother market for commercial work out there, like nightclubs or whatever the case might be, high-end hotels or whatever.
Well, the sky's the limit. And if you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability and take it as far as you can, and don't be frightened to get knocked back. And this is the mentality I have. This is the vision I've got. I'll always push a boundary the right way and try and let my work do the talking. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Is your finished product has to do the talking.
Tell us a little bit about the difference. Like, let's just say you wanted to tile that hallway there, like just with tile, of course, like you did. But now, what is the percentage of price increase for the LED light? What is the percentage of difficulty, planning, and so forth? I mean, are you adding? Did you factor that in? I mean, I know you did. Did you calculate that after the fact? Now, like, how much extra would you charge for something like this? It could be a percent or a dollar, amount, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Well, this is it. Yeah, I mean, as you can see from them images, the floor tile was a 60 by 60. the wall tile was a meter by 30. So the combination of the stacking of the tile on the wall didn't suit, obviously, the tile for the floor. Now, the floor tile is only available in that size. So that was all I could work with. So I had to scale, as you do, plan, make it work. The floor tile had to be cut, but the saving grace was the light track has a flange either side that sits directly on top of the tile. So it will cover the cut edge of the tile.
Oh, okay.
So to make it aesthetically pleasing to the eye, I had to try and design a layout that worked, and that's what we come up with, and that's how the best way we could tackle it. Stacking the wall tile vertically, but staggering them on a quarter, using the offcut to start the next course, and so forth. So really, we didn't get much wastage. The ceiling part was a meter wide, so the tile fitted perfectly, a full piece. So yeah, the size of the tile worked with the space. The floor tile didn't really work with space, but we made it work, and that's what we try and do on every installation, is make it work.
Yeah. So if you were gonna, if somebody wanted, a nightclub or whatever had a room, a bathroom to do the same install in, and you went into it, would you tack on another 50% in time and energy, and you know, or is there a percentage or a price that you would charge us at compared to just basic tile?
Yeah, I think it would probably, the way I'd price it would be our normal pricing method per meter, for tile installation. Then you'd have an add-on for time, which would cover the installation for the electric part. And then obviously there would be a time element for the setting out. As you know, when you go into a room, nothing's perfect. The preparation is key. So, you know, it would be, but then you wouldn't expect something like that to be a standard price. Automatically, right, know that there's a lot more involved.
Yeah.
And when you have to fabricate the tile to make it fit, we all know how much time that adds on, getting the machine out, the wet saw.
I think the point is when you're doing something like this, and the reason you did it in your showroom is to showcase exactly what you can do that's completely different than what everybody else is doing. And, you know, now you're going to have people like Mario's really interested in this. You know, we want to know, like, where can we get those lights? And you don't have to answer, but if you want, you can let us know where you can get those light strips and stuff like that.
If you get in contact and send me a message, I'll send you the link of where to go.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to deal with you. But they're pretty easy to get hold of. It's just knowing that there's all different types of quality of LED. Not necessarily the strip, the casing that the LED fits into. It's the actual LED itself, the spacing of the LED lighting, that when it's on, it doesn't leave the small dots. So yeah, it's as long as you've got a good quality LED that's suitable for a wet area or a dry area, you're fine.
So let's transition a little bit into branding, because obviously you're really focused on the branding. I mean, is that just something that comes naturally to you? I mean, everything on your website and your Instagram just looks really beautiful, really slick. You know, the way you present yourself to the world. How important is that to advancing a business like that? And where do people start to learn?
Yeah, I mean, branding is key. It's very, very important, because you're putting yourself out there to the whole world, to the country, let's say. If your brand is not on the works that you're delivering, and it's not out there on your vehicle, you know, you need to be in people's faces with the branding. For me, at the beginning, pushing the brand was, I kind of annoyed myself, because I was, all you're seeing is the same brand rotating all the time. But then I had to make a choice. I had to forget what anyone else was seeing pop up on their newsfeed, whether it be Primo or myself. But branding is important, and anyone that knows that's in a business and that knows about the branding, how important it is. The people that are watching you, if they understand, they'll understand it. If they don't, they don't, and it is what it is. They don't like it, they don't have to watch. Simple as that. But
Yeah.
you do what you need to do, and that's it. But the
So,
branding is key. It has to go out. It has to go out on everything.
wow. I like that. So do it to the point where it annoys yourself and then do it a little more and then just
Yeah.
keep pushing. That's
Yeah.
cool. All right. I want to move into something you mentioned before we started recording is how you started kind of honing your skill back before Primo, back before, the partnerships.
Yeah.
How, you turned to YouTube, didn't you?
Yeah, I was on YouTube and I was watching a very well known guy out there in America, Sal de Blasi,
Yeah.
an amazing talent. The guy is a workhorse, and the way that he works, it's so clean, tidy, and the overall finish of his jobs are always the same. And and that's who I learned a lot off from just general watching of YouTube when I very first started. For me, if I've ever wanted to know how something's done, I've always jumped on YouTube, and he had, at the point in time, he had loads of videos on there, so I was playing catch up, and then I actually got to a stage where I was waiting for him to post a video just so that I could watch.
Mm-hmm.
But and then obviously you put what you see into practice, and then you develop your own skill and your own method. But it's good to watch guys like that, because when I started, they're the guys that are up the top, and that's where you aspire to be. So yeah, for me, he was a massive help.
Yeah.
Massive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I want to encourage anybody who is, maybe a little bit newer into the business, or maybe you're transitioning from another business, carpenter. Another guy said he was an electrician. He's transitioning to tile. Look up Sal de Blasi. I think that's the name of his channel on YouTube. It's got 125,000 followers. I mean, you can't really put it tile without finding Sal, and that's who you should be. That's one of the mentors that you can look to online. And
agree.
yeah. So it's just super cool in this day and age. I mean, that's what it takes. Way back in the beginning, Primo Anthony here was watching Sal and honing his skills and pushing himself to get better. And now look at where he's at today. I mean, and it just takes hard work and effort and study. Now, I want to move into this subject that I saw on your website earlier. You actually offer financing. Of course, you accept credit cards, which I think everybody should, which is a form of financing. And then you actually go a step further and you have an application. Like, I could apply to a third-party vendor that would finance my LED tile job that I was going to buy from you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How do you go about this? Tell me the reasons why you're doing this. Tell me about this. This is a subject that comes up from time to time, and it's a little bit controversial from what I see.
There's a lot of reasons behind it. Mainly the reason is, as I said, with Primo, the products are of a high-end market. That's who they're aimed towards. Now, not necessarily the high-end market can afford these products. We all know everyone's different and they live life differently. But it's an option that's there so they can save their money and use someone else's. And it's, we all know how the way financing works. But it's all based on the individual. So we don't have anything to do with the information that they input. It's all secure and safe. They apply, and it's all based on the individual. So their credit rating, all their financial details, it's all based on them as an individual. And we will get a notification to say, so-and-so has applied for finance. We will be in contact with you and sending you the funds to cover their project. And it's as simple as that. and it's all done by the third party,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the safest way. But it's just another option. It's there, you know. It
So
costs
that,
to have that in place, though. It's not a free service. So for us, there's a subscription that we have to pay for, to be able to offer their business to our clients, and we have to pay for it. But it's an option in place for the customer, and that's what we're all about. The end user benefiting, from what we know,
yeah.
and having things done properly. You know.
But how long have you been doing that? Is it worth it? I mean, you're going to keep doing it. You make
Yeah, I mean, it helps, and people do come in and ask if we offer finance, because everywhere now you can get finance on absolutely anything. So it's not going to be long, and it's going to be everywhere. You know, even to the smallest of items, there'll be options for financing. It's in place. It works, and until the day it doesn't work, you
Yeah.
know, it's just one of those. It's an expense that the business has to deal with.
Yeah. I love this point you brought out. You know, one of the objections to financing, when it comes up in the groups, is someone will always say, if someone can't afford my tile work, why do I want them as a customer? Well, you brought up an interesting point, which is something I completely forgot about. But now that you bring it up, I remember this. You know, not from personal experience, but from listening to podcasts and books, wealthy people will almost always choose financing over using their own cash, because their cash is typically tied up working for them, getting them, typically, even if you're just going to play a safe stock market, you can get 8%. If you're going to do a little bit more, something a little bit more risk, with higher risk comes higher return, they might be up to 15% with real estate transactions, whatever. They're getting a 15% ROI on their cash investments. So when they go to Primo's site and he offers financing, and because they have a high credit score, they can get 3, 4, 5% interest that they're going to pay for financing. They're going to do that every single time. So it's a very interesting point, and it's a mindset shift that I really want to encourage all my tile friends, all my contractors to do, is get into utilizing, like Chris says, other people's money. Opium. Who doesn't love opium, right? Other people's money. That's what it's all about. And wealthy people know this trick. And so I really appreciate that you brought this out and reminded me about this. And like, you know, it's a small fee for your company. And when someone qualifies for financing, how soon do you get paid versus when you're doing the work? And what are the securities that you have from that?
Sorry, securities in terms of.
Is there risk? Like if someone was qualified for that financing option and then you did the work, when are you getting paid, first of all?
Well, the payment is almost automatically to us.
Yeah.
So trusted businesses, and correct businesses will deal with it the correct way, and obviously tell their customer, because they'll start paying, from the minute that the funds have been released. Now, I believe there's an option on there when you get later on in the transaction that you can request the money, or that the money will get sent to the business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it all depends on the individual to see, you know, because they're putting their personal information into the database. Behind the computer, they will decide whether you're getting it or not, based on you as the individual. So I think there is two options. That the money will either come to us direct, or it will go to the customer. Then they release the money to us once the installation's complete. But I think that's if we're doing installation work as well. If it's just a supply service, for the bathroom goods, tiles, and bits and pieces, then that will come straight to us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's secure and relatively
Yeah.
easy to get your money and all that good stuff. So that's awesome. I love it, man. So this is great. What's that?
It's a good service to have. I mean, like you said, the high-end customer won't use their own money, especially if they've got it tied up elsewhere. And if they can get a good deal, then they're going to use the finance man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, Anthony, I really appreciate you taking your time to share your business knowledge. Did we miss anything? I'm going to go over my notes real quick. I think we covered a lot of good ground here. I know we've helped a lot of people. If anybody has a question, throw it up in the comments real quick here. Where's the next step? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at what everything you're doing. I'm really curious to know what's your vision for the kind of near or even far future. Where are you taking this?
Well, I have no limit. So I will roll with the punches, continue working hard, and wherever it takes me, it takes me. But whatever I'm doing will have my 110% attention and dedication to it. I've built a brand, and I'm in the process of continuously improving that brand. So who knows? I have got ideas. I've got space. But I'm not frightened of anything. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll start again. But I don't know. Honestly, I've got so much that I want to do. There's so many little lanes that I want to sort of detour down. But firstly, it's I need to build this business the correct way, have the right people around me in order to take the next jump. I'm just focused on one at a time, But yeah, I have got visions to go further on, and as I said, wherever it takes me, it takes me. But the options are there. I have choice, and I am looking that far ahead. But today, I don't know. I couldn't tell you anything.
All right.
You have to keep watching, guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Fair enough. And what I like that you did is you really, and it sounds like this is what you're going to continue to do. You solidified the one business before you went and kind of expanded into this new, maybe riskier business. But you really made sure that this one business was solid and turning a profit. And then you're kind of expanding. And it sounds like that's kind of your plan. Now, Anthony or Mario wants a showroom tour. Is that some mobile phone or something you could kind of walk us around the showroom, or is that something you're?
Yeah.
And then the one last thing I'll say too is, did I see you have a family on your Instagram account, or was that someone else? Are you a family?
Yeah, I've got two young boys, Louis and Sonny. Yeah, which is enough motivate. If you've got kids, you know that they'll motivate you enough.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they're my motivation. I'm building for their future as well as my own.
Yeah. So, how do you find how do you keep the balance? How are you balancing family and work?
Well, the point I'm separated from the kid's mum. So now I have a balance where before it was all work, but that was at the early stages. And if anyone knows, when you're building a business, you have to put everything into it, and sometimes your family do get pushed to the side. But that's not forever. The days will come where you don't push them aside, and they'll be with you, right next to you, enjoying life once you've got to that stage you want to get to.
Yeah.
But now it can be better. I have the time that's dedicated to the kids. I have them, and my work life is my work life. So I'm able to switch off. But it's also because we've got a team. We've got guys around us that we're able now to have this life where we can take time off, and we've got a team behind us. So it's a big mixture and big combination of everything. But it is important to have time with your family, but it's not easy. Right. For sure. At the beginning, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. If you are I mean, this is a big subject in the groups and with contractors, especially with times like this when everybody's busy. If you are working like a lot, like 12, 14-hour days, just make sure that you see an end in sight. You really want to make sure, like Ant said, that you want to acknowledge that this is going to be hard for a little bit, but you're putting the work in for something. This isn't something that you should do into your older age, continuing to work more than 8 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a day. This should be a temporary thing with a limit, months or maybe even years, but really a temporary limit so that you can get a hold of of your life and enjoy your life. So All right, we better do that showroom tour, otherwise Mario's going to be mad at me later.
Let's get you looking around. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, right. So I'll have to hold it this way.
Okay.
Is that good? Can you see?
Yeah, lower it just a little. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. So the lighting within the bays is on an automatic. So as I walk in, the lights will come on, as you can see.
Nice.
So this is our main bay. That was the showstopper. But as the changes are being done within the showroom, they're all getting a little bit better. So that's a simple detail, just highlighting a tray with a niche in the wall, stainless steel niche with lighting. So yeah, I mean, can you all still see that? Can we still see that, guys?
Could you hear me? We saw it all. It's beautiful, and what I like about it is it's different than other showrooms. I mean, you've got real life examples there of the of multiple bathrooms, multiple living spaces, the best technology. I mean, automatic lights. That's cool. You're making really smart use of the space there, Anthony.
Yeah. It's key. It's creating the space. It's what customers need to see. They need to see a setting in a room that's complete. There's no point doing just a bath against the wall with a few tiles. They can't visualize that, and that was the reason behind the showroom, was to make it a finished product and show the client and show the customer exactly what they can expect. So that was the thinking, that was the brains behind it. It was just making it a real life setting. I've been to showrooms before, and everyone's different, and they'll always do things differently to how anyone else does them. But for me, if you're aiming to middle to high, your showroom needs to be high end or above all the time. And if something doesn't work anymore, get it out, get something new in. But you've got to be that way. And we've set a standard. I know that. We've set a standard. And listen, if I inspire other showrooms to change their game, then I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And I'm not frightened to say it. I'll say it as it is. But it all started here. It was a vision. It's just having the ideas. But I'm making my job slightly more difficult because as I change a bay and upgrade it, I have to think of something better. And as you know, you're always looking to improve. So I've got the ideas, but I am making it very, very hard for myself. But that's what it's about. It's testing your ability, seeing how far you can go.
Yeah. I agree. Well, man, that's really cool. Is the showroom like by appointment only, or is it open hours?
No, we're open hours from Monday to Saturday, from 9 a.m. in the morning till 5:30 p.m.
Okay.
So it's open 6 days a week. Once I get the correct staff around me, I possibly will open on the Sundays. But for the moment, mainly the majority of showrooms are only open on a Saturday. There's quite a few that are shut on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We need one day of rest.
For sure. For sure.
But we're open.
Yeah.
We are.
Well, like Mari says, the vision's clear, amazing work. And yeah, so I know a lot of people are going to benefit from watching and listening to this podcast episode. And I appreciate your willingness to share and looking forward to seeing what's in store for you, brother.
I really appreciate it, Luke. It's been great chatting to you.
Right.
Listen, I'm always on the other end of the phone. So if you guys ever got a question, fire me a message, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
Will do. All right. Well, enjoy your evening there, brother. Have a good night, Ant.
Have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that was another great interview. Talk about a man with a vision, a man with a master plan. That's what I like to see. Really going places and taking his business, to the next level. And I love how he shared. And like he said, if you have more questions about his partnership or the way he did his showroom or his business, feel free to hit him up on Instagram. He's always available. He said Facebook, different areas you can catch Ant. And it's good to have, we have to be our own support system. So we want to continue to do that. And listen, I want to thank another one of my patrons. If you are if you want to support me and you're able to, you can do so now financially by becoming a Patreon. I have the link in the show notes wherever you're watching or listening to this, or it's on my website, tilemoney.com, and you can financially support me every month. And this episode, I want to thank Level Plane Tile and Stone. You can see them on Instagram at Level Plane Tile and Stone. And this is Eric Trexel, and Eric is a great guy, runs a great business. You can follow him on Instagram. I know a lot of you guys know Eric. But if you don't know Eric, check out the work he's doing on Instagram. Beautiful work, a beautiful Instagram account. And I truly appreciate your support, Eric. Thank you for helping me out with this podcast endeavor. My aim is to help as many tile contractors worldwide as I can and strengthen your business. I want to see you profitable. I want to see you sustainable. This is one of the best trades you can do. It's a difficult trade, and I feel for far too long, tilers just weren't turning enough profit as a whole. So I'm doing my best to spread the good message and encourage tilers everywhere. So look forward to some big stuff we got coming up here in 2021. We're shortly going to go into season 3 of the podcast. Yesterday, we launched episode number 111. So next Tuesday is going to be episode number 112 of the podcast. If you're not listening to it, find it in your favorite podcast player, look at it on YouTube if that's your thing, and subscribe so that you get notified every single Tuesday. You're reminded, subscribe and turn your notifications on so that you can hear this. And then, of course, like we're doing right now, if you want to join us live on Facebook and YouTube throughout the week, we're going to be recording these podcast episodes. It's fun to get the interaction. I really appreciate you guys doing this. So as always, thanks for joining me, and stay profitable out there, tile friends. Talk to you soon.